London and the world are on alert tonight after terror strikes again. This time, leaving 4 people dead, including the suspect and a police officer, as well as 20 others who are left injured. Good Wednesday evening to all of you. I'm Vanessa Holmes. It has been a long day in London and around the world as prayers pour in and investigators try to put the pieces together. Here's what we know at this time. The attack happened just before 9 o'clock this morning. That's when Britain's House of Commons was suspended when witnesses reported hearing sounds of gunfire nearby. Then, 20 minutes later, Britain's House of Commons said a man attacked a police officer at Parliament and was then shot by police. About 30 minutes later, video surfaced on Twitter showing people lying injured on Westminster Bridge. Then at 11 a.m., the U.S. State Department said it was closely monitoring the incident outside of Parliament and urged Americans in London to avoid the area. At 1 p.m., the head of counterterrorism at London's Metropolitan Police said 4 people had died and some 20 others were injured. Taking a look at this map of London, you can see the 2 places where the attack happened. They're not that very far apart. The bridge is right next to Big Ben, the iconic clock tower, and Parliament Square, where the officer was stabbed, is right across the street. NBC's Kelly Kobiela talks to eyewitnesses.
Well, London police now say 4 have died, 20 are injured in this attack, what they are calling a terrorist incident in central London. It went down early in the afternoon today, right in the center of London at the Houses of Parliament. The first indication that something was going wrong, sounds of an accident on Westminster Bridge. That's how eyewitnesses describe it.
And then I see that one car smashed to the wall, and just people started running all over.
Several people hit by a driver in a car on that bridge. Then the car crashed into the gates at the Parliament building. The driver got out holding a knife and tried to get into the Parliament building. In the process of doing that, he stabbed an officer who was guarding Parliament. He was then shot by police.
Sadly, I can confirm that now 4 people have died. That includes the police officer who was protecting Parliament, and 1 man we believe to be the attacker who was shot by a police firearms officer.
We also understand now from the Foreign Ministry in France that French students were among the injured. At least 3 French students who were here on a school trip on Westminster Bridge and hit by that car. Streets are closed in central London. The investigation continues. Having said that, Met Police say they believe there was only 1 attacker. Back to you.
This is the deadliest terror attack in London in more than a decade. You may recall back in 2005, a series of suicide bombings killed 52 people and wounded more than 700 others. The attackers targeted London's transport system, detonating bombs hidden in their backpacks on 3 trains and a double-decker bus. While that was more than a decade ago, over the last 2 years, terror attacks have been becoming more widespread across Europe. A year ago today, 32 people were killed and hundreds were wounded in suicide bombings in the Brussels airport. 2 suicide bombers blew themselves up in the airport's departure hall during a peak travel period. Then an hour later, a bomb went off in a train station, killing 16 more people. Then in June, 45 people were killed and more than 200 were wounded in an attack at an airport in Istanbul. No terror group claimed responsibility for that attack, but the CIA said it was the work of ISIS. In July, 86 people were killed when a large truck barreled into a crowd of people watching Bastille Day fireworks. ISIS claimed responsibility for that attack. And in December, 12 people were killed and dozens were injured after a truck drove into a roadside Christmas market. And the deadly terror in Paris. Back in 2015, 137 people were killed. More than 300 were injured when terrorists opened fire outside of a soccer stadium and inside a concert hall. Now back to today's attack. Almost immediately after news broke, the hashtag #PrayForLondon started trending. A lot of the posts call for people to stop rushing to conclusions. So taking a look, Salma says, stop saying Muslims are terrorists. We aren't terrorists. Blame the one who made the mistake. Don't blame my religion. Pray for London. Another person posted this. It's sad how the word terrorist is so quickly associated with a religion that promotes peace and love. And Stephen shared this picture saying, "Pray for London. Let's just keep doing this to feel good without changing anything within our society," and attached this picture showing the trending prayer hashtags dating back to November 2015. This story is so big, even Snapchat started a story on the events. This picture shows CNN and breaking news as top story. Be sure to stay with 12 News for any new developments in this breaking news story from London. All updates will be posted online at 12newsnow.com, as well as our free 12 News Now app. Still to come here on 12 News, a surveillance reversal. Just one day after saying Trump Tower was not wiretapped, the head of the House Intelligence Committee says there was surveillance and says it was done legally. We have the new developments. And an urgent push for votes, that is. President Trump visits Capitol Hill, rallying support for the GOP's plan to repeal and replace Obamacare. That story plus...
He was very upset. You know, he's better now.
A Beaumont bus bout. A mother is angry after she says her son was choked on the bus after school. She says the teenager responsible was not disciplined. The district says otherwise. That story when we come back.
Live from Southeast Texas, you're watching 12 News Tonight with Vanessa Holmes and Chief Meteorologist Patrick Farr. 12 News Tonight.
We're taking a live look outside at Beaumont tonight. A beautiful evening out there. Thank you all so much for watching us here on 12 News Tonight on K-JAC. A Beaumont mother is furious after she says her son was choked on a bus home from school. She says her son was disciplined for standing on the bus, but the student who choked her son wasn't. The district says those claims are not true. Our Jackie Massey is here in studio with that report. Jackie.
Vanessa, the school district says both of the students were punished by getting suspended from the bus for 10 days. But the mother, Rachel Gilbert, says she's still upset about what happened.
The mother says if you look closely at this video, you can see her son getting choked by another student.
To watch my son gasping in the last part of the video, to watch another child stand up to chastise another child, it bothered me.
She says the incident happened on February 24th and complains that the student who was hurting her son did not get punished, while her son was suspended from the bus for 2 weeks.
It could have went real wrong, real quick, real bad. I could be, mourning a child. She could be mourning a child.
Beaumont ISD says both of the students were punished by getting suspended from the bus for 10 days. A third student also was punished with in-school suspension for instigating during the incident. But Gilbert says she is still disturbed by what she saw in the video and believes her son was bullied.
That was a situation of being bullied. It was a bullying situation, and kids are losing their lives by killing themselves because kids that are bigger than them are bullying them.
While BISD says they know about the incident on the bus, they say they never received any reports about bullying.
BISD would not go into detail about the incident on the bus. In the studio, Jackie Massey, 12 News.
Thank you, Jackie. New tonight, former Baylor University tight end Trayvon Armstead has been arrested in Port Arthur. Armstead was arrested this morning stemming from a sexual assault warrant out of McLennan County, where Baylor University is located. He is currently being held at the Jefferson County Jail on a $150,000 bond. A Buna family is saddened after a loved one, Tiari Sorensen, died during a DUI crash in Hardin County last night. The 56-year-old woman was a mother and a grandmother. She worked in the physical therapy department at Christus St. Elizabeth Hospital and as an EMT for Dogwood EMS in Woodville. She was the passenger on a motorcycle that crashed along FM 421. According to DPS troopers, the driver, Kenan Floyd Perry, was drunk and will be charged with intoxication manslaughter. Sorensen's family say they are not sure how the two knew each other, but they say Tiari was picked up last night by friends for drinks before this accident happened. The clock is ticking down to tomorrow's crucial vote on the GOP's health care plan, and to make sure they have enough votes, President Donald Trump visited with Republican lawmakers to convince them to vote for it. But as Maggie Rulli reports, the math may not be on the president's side.
Democrats on Capitol Hill today are marking the 7th anniversary of the Affordable Care Act.
Protect our care. Protect our care.
Just one day before House Republicans could vote to undo it.
Eliminating the Affordable Care Act means eliminating an awful lot of things that people badly need.
Meanwhile, Republicans are calling in the big guns to make a final plea of their own.
Big vote tomorrow in the House.
For the second day in a row, President Trump and his team at the White House are pitching the Republicans' American Health Care Act.
There's Plan A and Plan A. We're going to get this done.
One day after the president went to Capitol Hill, where behind closed doors, the president telling congressional leaders they'd be fools not to support the bill, warning their next election is on the line.
Can you get the votes, Mr. President?
Think so.
But the math isn't quite adding up. 22 Republican no votes would kill the bill in the House, and by ABC's count, at least that many Republicans are on the fence.
I have reservations, as I said.
I don't think this legislation is consistent with what the American people sent us here to accomplish.
We're still in it.
Trying to woo these reluctant members, House Republicans have made changes to the bill, including giving states more flexibility over Medicaid spending and promising to boost aid for older Americans to buy insurance.
Many Republicans and conservatives argue that the bill just doesn't do enough to lower premiums that is, for Americans. And after a meeting today, at least 25 conservatives say they were nowhere close to leaning to vote no, which is enough to kill that bill. New political developments tonight. A House Intelligence Committee chairman says President Trump may have been right when he said he had fallen under surveillance. California Republican Devin Nunes briefed President Trump today, saying Trump and transition team officials may have been the subject of possible incidental monitoring by our intelligence agencies. He said he believes the intelligence collections were done legally. Also today, the Associated Press reported that former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort had ties to Russia more than a decade ago. The report says Manafort worked for a pro-Putin Russian billionaire in 2005. Manafort says the documents released in the report paint an inaccurate picture. Meanwhile, the White House says there is no wrongdoing on the part of the president.
Suggest that the president knew who his clients were from a decade ago is a bit insane. He was hired to do a job. He did it. That's it, plain and simple.
Spicer says Manafort was fired over the summer because of his alleged links to a pro-Russia party in Ukraine, along with a lag in Trump's poll numbers at the time. Check this out. A group of college students are credited with saving a man's life after he fell onto active train tracks. It happened Friday night when the drunk man fell onto the tracks at a Massachusetts train station. That's when this group of freshmen from Tufts University came to his aid. Two of them jumped onto the rails and lifted the man to safety. The 47-year-old man suffered a broken ankle in the incident, and just a few short minutes later, after the man was rescued, a train pulled into the station. Trending tonight, one letter away from winning hundreds of dollars, and you just can't do it. Take a look at this puzzle from Wheel of Fortune last night. Can you figure it out? Only one letter is missing, but the man playing guesses the wrong letter. Take a look.
He's going for it. 600.
K.
No. Lisa. $650.
M.
Yeah, there you go. And what do we have?
A streetcar named Desire.
Yeah, that's it.
Again, this video has gone viral. It was one of the top trends on Facebook all day long. And on Twitter, thousands have been tweeting about the fail, many calling it an epic fail. David says, dude on Wheel of Fortune had to solve this, a streetcar in a blank ED Desire. He asked for a K. I'm gonna go lie down now, he says. Then someone posted, filling the streetcar naked Desire guy tonight is the real life Joey from Friends, with this picture of Joey guessing the word is Count Rushmore instead of Mount Rushmore. And JA posted this, nothing is funnier than Wheel of Fortune fails. Unlike Jeopardy, it is literally spelled out for you. Patrick.
Vanessa, that's one of those kind of moments, huh?
Yes, it is.
Oh, my goodness. Look at tomorrow. You think the pollen was high today? Wait till tomorrow. We've got grass and tree pollen, but it's going to be at extreme levels coming up tomorrow. We had a foggy morning across the area this morning and a beautiful afternoon. And we have got a forecast that includes rain, and that's no bull. Your forecast just ahead.
Snapchat 12 News just launched our account this afternoon. I'm actually logged in right now, waiting for you to snap us. During the break, we'll respond. Search KBMT 12 K-JAC or 12 News Now. Follow us on Snapchat.
Good evening, Southeast Texas. You get one more dry day. Then we've got a good chance of rain and thunderstorms coming up Friday evening and Friday night. Did I mention it's going to be foggy in the morning? And then another round of storm coming up on Monday. That's the second one. And then as we head towards Wednesday, round 3 could be moving into Southeast Texas. So we've gone 11 days without any significant rainfall across the area. Now we're going to go into a pattern to where it's about every other day. So unsettled pattern, how should I put it? A very unsettled, inconsistent, very variable pattern across the area, our region, as we get these storms in every other day. Outside right now, temperatures are into the middle to upper 70s south, into the low to mid 80s north. Across Texas, look at this, up towards Amarillo, a little cooler, some 60s and 70s there. There's a weak front, and then out in West Texas, it's in the lower 90s in Midland. But not too bad across our area right now. That is, if you like spring-like weather. I don't. I would love to have what they're having right now up into New England. Well, maybe not that cold. They're in the teens. As you can see across the state, the clouds have eroded. We're watching a stalled front off towards our north. Forget about it. It's not moving here. We will remain warm and dry tomorrow. Watching our next storm system crashing ashore off towards the west coast. And as you can see, there are winter weather advisories in the mountains like the Wasatch and back over the Colorado Rockies and back over towards the Tetons, as a matter of fact. Here's our next storm system off the west coast. But you see this ridge of high pressure? This is what we call a ridge. This hump or this hill, that's high pressure. That means not much is going to happen, and that's what we've seen the last several days. But look what happens as this storm system moves on in out of the southwestern U.S. This will likely set up a squall line moving across Texas. I think the best threat for severe weather will be towards the Arklatex, Arkansas, Oklahoma, North Texas, but still can't rule out the possibility of maybe an isolated severe thunderstorm here locally. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, but we do need rain as we're some 8 inches below normal. Compared to last year, wow, remember the 20-some-odd inches they got in just, what, 24 hours up towards Toledo Bend? In the morning, we expect, clouds and fog in the morning, lower 60s. That erodes, and during the afternoon, we expect lots of sun and a dry day with highs in the low to mid-80s, which is about 10-plus degrees above normal. Our forecast tonight includes dense fog towards morning. Otherwise, temperatures in the lower 60s. Tomorrow, morning fog, afternoon sun. You know what you've seen the last couple days is what you're going to see tomorrow. All right, your extended forecast. Friday, we're watching the potential for stormy weather conditions. Again, there's going to be fog in the morning, but by Friday, a yellow bar day. And at this point, this is very, very early. I think the best threat of severe weather will be wind damage, maybe hail, and don't expect much in the way of tornadoes, but can't rule that out. Then on Saturday, we should see the rains moving out. A good half inch, maybe an inch in some spots as this system moves on off towards the east. Round 2 coming up on Monday, round 3 on Wednesday into Thursday. So a very unsettled forecast across the region.
We are taking Facebook questions right now for you. We're there live. If you want to join us there on Facebook, on our page, we have a viewer asking, when is it going to rain again in Winnie?
Friday?
There you go.
Friday night, probably.
Friday night.
Friday night will be our best chance. We have an 80% coverage for Southeast Texas, as you can see. So We need the rain. So we're, what, 8 inches below normal. It's been 11. That'll be 12 days that we've not seen significant rainfall across the area. So a lot of the grasses and, well, you're probably watering your yard right now.
Yeah.
So this is going to help.
Alrighty. All right, well, coming up, a beautiful connection between these two precious babies. How these newborns may one day become soulmates. That story next. Trending tonight, the story of two babies who don't know each other. Obviously, they're babies, they're newborns, but may very well end up as soulmates. How, you might ask? Their names. Meet Romeo and Juliet. Yes, those are their real names. They were born 18 hours apart at a South Carolina hospital earlier this year. They were even delivered by the same doctor. But their parents had never met. They had no idea about the other baby's name. Neither family can believe the coincidence, and both say it's too funny. And actually, they have already planned for them to have their first birthday party together and then see how it progresses from there. What are the odds? Romeo and Juliet.
I imagine they're pretty high.
Yeah. Time now for your take. Also, we have been chatting with you on Facebook Live, and here are a couple of your comments regarding what took place today in London. Connie says, hi, good afternoon. So sad about London, thinking about our London allies. Trisha says, thank you guys for the coverage. So sad. Prayers going out tonight. Annette says, sending prayers from Birmingham, Alabama. Roll Tide. Lisa says, my home city of London has once again been plagued by the inhuman act of evil. So glad my family and friends are safe and well. Pray for London. Christy says, thank you for the live feed. Cable is out in Lumberton, and this is the only way we are getting the news. And in fact, we do have some people watching from London tonight. Our thoughts and prayers are with them, their family, and friends.